What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sinceres here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for November 6, 2020's Vendor Reset. So let's get right into this to see what we got good for this week. Also, I want to mention too that I'm going to do things a little bit different so we can get through these quicker. Okay, so for our first gear items, you want to head over to Camp Hudson. Here the weapons vendor has the tactical M249 Para, and here you can see the stats of it. Show them real quick. Okay, so for our next gear items, you want to head over to the base operations. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Inventive on there. You can see the stats right here. I'll show you real quick. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 4% ballistic shield damage resilience. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the gear vendor here and we got a tactical pack with the talent Inventive on there. Here go the stats. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% mobile cover damage resilience. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor and here we got a Lova C. I'll show you the stats real quick and talents. It doesn't have a good roll, but I figured I'd mention it. Also here we got a Super 90. Here go the weapon stats and talents. Also here we got an M700 tactical. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a small grip with 18% crit hit damage, 4.50% reload speed, and 2.50% stability. Also here we got a 5.52 hollow sight with 7% crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, and 5% optimal range. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a Cassidy. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a Historian. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a Pecan. If you like to run this weapon, here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a Liberator. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got an ACR. Also here we got a Black Market RPK 74E. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a Spec Ops armor with the talent Vigorous on there. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got an extended magazine with 111.50% magazine size, 5% reload speed, and 4% crit hit damage. Also here we got a Mega Rifle Suppressor with 17.50% headshot damage, 2.50% crit hit chance, and 4.50% optimal range. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a firearms knee pad blueprint with a gear score of 256. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Kerman Station. Here the weapons vendor has a custom P416G3. Here go the stats and talents. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Camp Clinton. Here the special equipment vendor has a Liberator. Here go the stats and talents for this. Also here we got a Cassidy. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a tactical SASG 12K. Here go the stats and talents for this. Also here we got a Black Market RPK 74E. Here go the stats and talents for this. Also here we got a tactical mask with the talent Rehabilitated on it. Here go the stats and talents for this. Also here we got a Spec Ops armor with the talent Rapid on there. Here's the stats and talents. Also here we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent Inventive on there. Here's the stats and talents. Also here we got a heavy magazine spring with 12% magazine size, 4% reload speed, and 10.20% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a classic M60 blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got some electronics glove blueprint with a gear score of 256. And also here we got a quick release magazine blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, we want to head over to Wolves Den. Here the weapons vendor has a surplus SVD. Here go the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we want to head over to Autumn's Hope. Here the gear vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 262 firearms and 2,994 health. For our next gear items, we want to head over to Madison's Stand. Here the gear vendor has a tactical vest. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a prototype electronics mod with 183 electronics and 4% damage to elites. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Ward. Here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 6% first aid self-heal. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Southpaw. Here the gear vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Relentless on there. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a prototype stamina mod with 209 stamina and 3% damage to elites. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Grindhouse. Here the weapons vendor has an extended magazine with 113.50% magazine size, 5% reload speed, and 4.60% rate of fire. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Firewall. Here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 3% smart cover damage resilience. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an enhanced ACRE. Here go the stats and talents. And also here we got a mega rifle suppressor with 17.50% headshot damage, 4% crit hit damage, and 2.50% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to West 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Police T821. If you like to run this weapon, here's the stat and talents. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% ballistic shield damage. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to West 39th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a converted SRS. Here's the stats and talents. Also here we got a prototype stamina mod with 259 stamina and 3% skill haste. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Relentless on there. Here's the stats and talents. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse crit hit damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 3.50% turret damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 64th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid ally heal. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 61st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 5% reload speed, 4% crit hit damage, and 10.40% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 58th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent refreshed on there. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a Spec Ops armor with the talent Reckless on there. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Specialized on there. Here go the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to the Park Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has an enhanced AUG A3P. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a SOCOM M1A. Here go the stats and talents. Also here we got a SOCOM M1A. Here goes the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a converted USC. Here's the stats and talents. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 7% Seeker Mine explosion radius. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an ACR. Here go the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 40th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an infantry MG5. Here's the stats and talents. Also here we got a Spec Ops armor with the talent Reckless on there. And also here we got a C79 scope with 17% crit hit damage, 2% accuracy, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a classic RPK 74. Here's the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to East 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a SOCOM M1A. Here's the stats and talents. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse crit hit damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to the 5th Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical M249 Para. Here's the stats and talents. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Relentless on there. Here's the stats and talents. And also here we got a prototype electronics mod with 257 electronics and 1% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ2 safe room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent refreshed on there. Here's the stats and talents. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Specialized on there. Here's the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ3 safe room. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a black market T821. If you like to run this weapon, here's the stats and talents. Also here we got an ACR. Here's the stats and talents. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ4 safe room. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 256 firearms and 1% crit chance. And then also here we got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% support station range. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ5 safe room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 11% magazine size, 4% crit damage, and 11.20% rate of fire. And also here we got a pro red dot sight with 18% crit damage, 6% headshot damage, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ8 safe room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent Enduring on there. Here's the stats for it. Also here we got a tactical vest with the talent Reckless on it. Here's the stats for it. Also here we got a tactical pack with the talent Inventive on there. Here's the stats for this. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ9 safe room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has an SR7 suppressor with 18% crit hit damage, 5% optimal range, and 2.50% stability. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for November 6, 2020's vendor reset. I hope everybody who tuned into it found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all. I appreciate that support. Hope the way I did it helped speed up the video a little bit for y'all so you can get through it real quick. If you're looking for something, check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Twitch. I stream on there sometimes. Check me out on Instagram. I'll be on there every blue moon. And I'll see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.